In a single moment, our lives can be thrown off course. A routine drive, a walk home, a normal reality instantly shattered.
The car in front of her was catapulted into the air.
Landed on top of her vehicle.
They were telling us that our father was badly hurt.
He was unconscious at the scene.
Someone made a careless and a negligent error.
We start calling her, she doesn't pick up.
What could follow is often just as devastating. Lifelong injuries, overwhelming medical bills, insurance agencies and big companies denying responsibility, and families left to pick up the pieces.
Everything has changed due to this crash.
I used to have someone active, someone to play with, but now I have someone I need to worry about and how they're doing.
Now every step is a step in pain.
Something is so wrong with me.
People had to see what had been done to her.
Started with denial, started with, we're not at fault.
I said, no, I'm gonna go to the end.
That's one thing that we're not scared of, is trying a case.
These are 3 stories of how the pursuit of justice turned tragedy into triumph. They aren't just case numbers. These are real people. These are true trial stories. For Juan Camilo and his family, one careless driver changed everything.
On December 30th, 2019, my husband got into a crash. We rushed to the hospital. When I saw my husband laying on a bed with a neck brace, you think the worst. He was barely awake. He had a bunch of wires to him, and he was in a lot of pain.
It was just fear, just my entire body. My heart just dropped.
I've never seen my father hurt. We didn't really know the extent of it until he came home.
As days went by, his pains actually just progressed, and we saw a change in my husband.
Yo me tomo 7 pastillas, pero esto fue lo que Dios nos dio, ¿verdad? No tengo de otra.
Juan's pain was crushing, but for his family, the loss of their happy father and hard-working husband was unbearable.
My name is Carmen Polanco. I live with my husband and my 3 children here in Tampa, Florida. After that call from that police officer saying that my husband was involved in a car crash, everything completely changed. It was just one emotional roller coaster after the next.
My name is Ryan Sains. I'm a trial attorney at Morgan & Morgan out of the Tampa office. This was a broadside type of T-bone crash. Juan was driving his work truck, and this vehicle just barreled through the intersection and absolutely crushed his side of the car. He was unconscious at the scene. They had to pull him out of the vehicle. They had to take him to the hospital, and it was tough to piece together what happened because he didn't really have much of a memory of the scene.
Mi nombre es Juan Camilo. Le doy gracias a Dios que estoy vivo, porque personas que vieron la escena del accidente me dicen que no fácilmente otra persona no estuviera en este mundo. Dios me dio el chance de estar vivo, pero no soy la misma persona.
Juan's pain was his to feel, but his family's to carry.
His pains actually just progressed, and we saw a change in my husband.
Yo pasé de ser el hombre alegre, el payaso, a ser una persona malhumorada.
Él siempre era el centro de las fiestas. Ahora los cumpleaños pasan por alto.
Papi was a very lively man. He loves to dance bachata with my mom. Now, all that has changed. He's popping those pills every single morning.
Acostado, el dolor me despierta. Cuando no me duele la cabeza, el cuello, cuando no el cuello, la espalda. Es a tomar pastillas.
It hurts to watch because I used to have someone active, someone to play with, but now I have someone I need to worry about and how they're doing.
It was like meeting a completely different person.
Pain heals, sometimes, but when memory falters, when the mind drifts, that loss is felt by everyone in the room.
Se le olvidan las cosas. Pierde la memoria totalmente. Y él te dice algo ahora y ahorita no sabe lo que te dijo.
Cuando yo vi a Juan, no lo reconocía bien porque ya no era la misma persona que yo había visto el día antes. No está bien y es algo que que molesta, duele, porque eso ya se ve como que va a ser para siempre, tú sabes.
A raíz del accidente tengo problemas con la memoria. Uno de los neurólogos me dijo que mi cerebro necesita de 20 a 25 años para volver a ser normal.
The pain wouldn't let him to work. So even though he's injured, the bills never stop. We have responsibilities. So I've had to pick up his load. It has put a lot of stress on me, physically, emotionally. It's exhausting.
Tengo una familia, tengo una esposa. ¿Qué hago?
The crash stole his strength, his focus, his fight. What he needed was a warrior in his corner.
We contacted Morgan & Morgan. And from the very beginning, they were very attentive to us. We were actually told, if you don't win, we don't win. And then to find an attorney that was actually able to speak our language, we were understood. That was a major relief.
From the beginning when the case came in, I knew that this was going to be an extremely long road. I begged the insurance company at the outset. I let them know from the beginning, hey, this case has substantial value and there's a chance that a verdict, if you guys make us go to trial on this, is going to exceed your policy limits. And I asked them on multiple occasions, please pay me your policy limits. They still didn't present an offer that satisfied the value of what this case was worth.
La primera oferta que me hicieron fue $34,000. Para mí, yo lo sentí como si fuera una burla, sabiendo yo que tengo que pagar médico, que ya tengo meses sin trabajar.
He has injuries, a lot of injuries. And this insurance company, they just took it like, okay, like, that's fine. You know, there is nothing wrong with him.
I asked them again, hey, multiple opportunities. Please pay the arbitration award. No, we won't do that either. I don't go to trial on cases unless it's something that I have a strong conviction in.
Y yo le dije, no se diga más, y vamos a pelear.
Morgan & Morgan was ready to fight. The insurance company was ready to do what they do best.
In that courtroom, they still came back saying that my husband was perfectly fine.
The defense in this case had surveillance, and they tried to portray this limp as something that was more of a show than something that he was having to deal with on a day-to-day basis.
When nobody believed my father's story in court, I felt sad because I can see the pain that he's living in. I know what he's saying is the truth. I see him limping every day.
It wasn't until later on that the defense lawyer looks me in the eyes and tells me, just take the policy limits of $250,000. This case isn't worth, you might not even get that.
Ryan went to hell and back to fight for my husband.
El último día nos sentamos fuera y el jurado está deliberando para un veredicto. Y mi abogado salió bailando. Me dice, ellos están calculando el dinero que tú vas a necesitar a futuro. Y él estaba más contento que yo.
A jury tells Juan and Carmen that what he's gone through and what he's going to continue to go through is worth almost $9.4 million. What I had been telling the insurance company from day one.
Bueno, yo estoy más que agradecido con mis abogados, porque ellos me hicieron sentir no como un cliente, sino como parte de ellos. Y lucharon tanto que el resultado final fue 300 veces más que la primera oferta que me hicieron.
Insurance companies fight to win. Juan fought to survive, with his own army at his side.
This was a 5-6 year process, so their fight really became my fight.
With Ryan, we're very close, actually. My kids, they love him. My husband adores him. He's like part of our family.
I got to know everything about them. I mean, I got to talk to them as their kids were growing up, and what a beautiful family. Juan is probably the sweetest man that I've ever met. He cares about his family so deeply. Everything he does has zero focus on him and all of the focus on his family. To look at him and say, thank you for trusting me and it's finally over. There's no better feeling. There really isn't.
My husband will be taken care of. He will be able to receive the treatments that he needs and having a little of him back. I'm very much looking forward to that.
La vida te cambia de un momento a otro. Por eso yo le digo a mis hijos, vivan el día a día, tranquilo, porque uno nunca sabe lo que pueda pasar. El dinero no va a compensar el momento perdido porque el tiempo no se recupera, pero nos garantiza comenzar a vivir momentos que nunca vivimos.
While the good moments were coming back for Juan, in another city, Yvette Torres was about to take one step into a new, arduous reality.
After the accident happened, living that all over again was so painful, getting little flashbacks of everything that happened to me.
I remember one time I just stepped onto the curb and she grabs me and pulls me back and says, "Wait, what are you doing?" I said, "It's okay, it's okay. We're okay." She was very traumatized.
You start feeling a little hopelessness. Will I ever be 100% the way I was? My name is Yvette Torres. Philadelphia has been good to me. I love the energy. It's a smaller city and walkable. The day of the accident, it was a Friday, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, broad daylight. Kids were coming out of school. I was waiting for the green light, and as soon as the green light went, I crossed the street. Before I knew it, I was struck by a truck.
My name is Alex Heider, a trial partner with the Philadelphia office of Morgan & Morgan.
My name is Clancy Boylan, a senior trial partner at Morgan & Morgan. Yvette Torres was crossing the street here in Center City, Philadelphia.
At which point in time, an almost 20,000-pound utility truck struck her, knocking her to the ground.
My name is Marilyn Canty, and I'm Yvette's wife. On the day of the accident, I was at home waiting for Yvette to come in from work, and all of a sudden I got a phone call that Yvette had been hit by a truck. I went completely into shock. I can't even think today of the emotions.
I was shaking. It felt like electric was going up and down my spine.
I said, "Where is she going?" He said she was going to the hospital.
The gentleman who was driving the truck, he stopped, came out and said, "Oh my God, I'm sorry. I hit you. I didn't see you." And the crossing guard came over. He goes, "I'm calling the ambulance right now."
I didn't know what to do but to hold her and let her know that whatever it is, we're going to get through it together.
I'm telling Marilyn, something is so wrong with me. I don't feel right.
After that crosswalk, Yvette would never walk the same, never smile the same, never be the same.
Yvette's a very strong person. She's not a person that complains about things. She's been in the military, she carries that great pride, and she is the person that takes care of everyone else. And she's done for me for many years. To see her hurting was heartbreaking.
I was hit around here, because I remember this. This was it. Turned whatever way I did, and boom, landed right here. And forever changed. I found out that I needed the surgery for my neck and my vertebrae. I didn't know what I was going to go through.
It was devastating to me because we've been together 26 years. I wasn't used to this person. I don't know how many years it's going to take that she won't be in pain.
She sustained injuries to both her cervical and lumbar spine, 3 herniated discs in her cervical spine, causing radiating pain. She sought an orthopedic spine surgeon. He said the best course of action would be a spinal fusion surgery.
I never had an operation in my life. I never had anesthesia in my life.
They opened her up in the front of her neck.
Pull aside her esophagus, repair the herniated disc material.
And they replaced them with spacers to keep the spine level. And then they put a plate in there that holds her neck together.
I have 8 screws on my neck. The recovery time for a neck surgery, my doctor said it could take to 3 to 4 years. I had to wear a neck brace for about 8 weeks. Painkillers, gabapentin, more painkillers.
She had what we call forever injuries. These are injuries that are going to be with her forever. And it's not just the pain and it's not just the suffering. It's the absolute change to your life.
Pre-accident, Yvette, life of the party. We had a great social life. We'd go on hikes together with our dogs. She was fun. I tend to get a little bit moody in the morning, and she's all up singing. One of the saddest things that happened after the accident was I didn't hear that singing in the morning.
After the operation, I got into a bit of a depression.
She had fought for her country. Now she had to fight for her life. Healing would take everything she had.
We knew that we had to do something. We knew that someone has to be accountable. Who do you call?
I was like, something's got to be done here.
She needed someone to fight for her.
That's when I decided to call Morgan & Morgan.
We knew the defense was going to be unreasonable. And to no surprise, they were unreasonable.
Their driver tells them we're at fault. Despite knowing that, they spend the next 2.5 years blaming Ms. Torres.
This insurance company hired more than 10 investigators to follow not only her, but her family for a 1.5 years leading up to trial, including Christmas Eve. The surveillance efforts that were undertaken here were just astonishing.
They sat outside of her apartment, filmed her waiting for her every morning to come out, and they followed her throughout the day. Everything that she's ever posted, anything she's ever done, all in an attempt to avoid responsibility.
It's a terrible time in our lives to have people watching us.
I was angry. I was very angry with them.
Yvette had been hurt, stalked, harassed. And the abuse didn't end there. It followed her straight to the negotiation table.
She wanted to resolve the claim. She didn't want to go to a jury trial and have her life put under a microscope. But unfortunately, when we went to a mediation, they undermined her claim the entire time and offered less than $300,000.
The amount of money that they offered us, it was an absolute no. You know, what's that going to cover? She's going to have more surgeries. Still today, she's still in pain.
At the end of the day, it's all about what was taken from you. She now has hardware in her neck for the rest of her life. She's gonna have hardware in her back. That's worth a lot more than the couple $100,000 that insurance company offered her at mediations. Before we're set to open at trial, next thing you know, they're offering us, $2.3 million. But it was too little too late. And she looked at him and said, no, it's not enough.
One thing that we pride ourselves on is we have the resources to be able to fight insurance companies and big companies like the one in Ms. Torres' case when they don't want to take responsibility. And ultimately, the result we were able to obtain for her was just pure justice.
When we hear that verdict and they say $10 million, Yvette just, breaks down crying. Those tears weren't because now she's rich. It's because the jury told her, you're right. And that's the best thing we could ever give a client.
Number one. It's over. I know I can afford to go to a doctor now. And all I can do is say, thank you.
Validation. Validation that, yes, it happened. We told the truth, and the truth showed. And life is going to be good.
Yvette's story closed with hope. But somewhere else, another family's story was unfolding in the shadow of unimaginable loss.
During that morning of the accident, Gina's workplace called and said she's not at the office.
It was maybe around 9 o'clock, 9:30. Her manager called and was like, where's your sister? We don't see your sister. I was like, she left at 8:30. She should be there. We all started panicking, me and my older sister.
My heart sank. I started calling everybody. Pure chaos. Mom was looking online for the traffic websites, and that's how we found out that there was an accident in that area.
Somehow I just knew she's gone.
Gina never had the chance to recover. And for her family, the injury wasn't one you could heal.
Losing Gina was extremely devastating to us all. She was the type of person who had the biggest heart. She had friends in all places.
Gina was a happy, helpful person. She's doing so many things for other people.
Gina is my baby daughter.
When we got there, it was horrible. It was bad. It was a really bad scene. I'm asking for my sister. The cop was like, you got to get away from the scene. And then he told us that my sister didn't make it. I had to tell my family.
The judge said that she was hit by a truck. Some other cars was involved.
And that's when we were like, we need to do something about it.
My name is Evan Rosenberg. I'm an attorney at Morgan & Morgan. I help manage our offices nationwide.
The Lo family demanded answers, demanded justice. Someone had to be held responsible.
Miss Lo, at the time of this wreck, was right around my age. A lot of life to live.
After I talked to Evan on the phone, he was like, we will make your story heard.
Evan Rosenberg asked me to step in. My name is Martin Futrell. I'm a trial attorney at Morgan & Morgan.
Gina was tragically rear-ended by a commercial driver going over the speed limit, not paying attention on his phone.
Slammed into the rear of her while she was stopped, pushing her vehicle under the SUV in front of her. Witnesses were trying to get her attention, trying to get to her and couldn't, and she basically died in the car.
Losing her in the middle of my pregnancy was very awful. She was the cool auntie. She was the baby, but she took care of our babies.
Seeing mom and dad go through it, it was really hard. There were days where mom didn't want to get up.
I want justice. I wanted the company to pay. I want them to admit that they killed my daughter.
No closure, just years of courtroom battles. But Mama Lo never backed down.
Started with denial, started with, we're not at fault. This case was draining. It's infuriating. I can't imagine being in the family's position.
You think it's gonna get somewhere and it doesn't. You feel like nothing's happening.
They didn't want to pay us, and so I said, no, forget it. I'm gonna go to the end.
Finally, after 4 years, we went to trial.
That's one thing that we're not scared of, is trying a case.
During trial, it was like getting stabbed, going back and forth with them. The way they devalued her was very, very hurtful. They made it seem like her life is worth less.
They keep making it sound like Gina wasn't a person or someone of value to us. They would say that because she's not educated, she's not a college graduate, she doesn't earn a lot of money, she have medical conditions, she was too big. No matter what, she's gonna die anyway, you know? So don't try to fight for a lot of money. She's not worth that much.
Oftentimes, defendants, particularly corporations, they tend to look at things that can be measured. The problem with that is that most everyday folks, if you were to add up the sum total of their earnings over the course of their remaining life expectancy, it may not produce a remarkably big number. We don't need human calculators. What we need is people who can come in and place value on the life that was lost. And the value of that life stretches far beyond what one can just earn. It includes the time that one spends with family, the relationships that one has, participating in activities that you love to do. All of these things bring meaning and they have value.
We know Miss Lo was a happy person. She was an aspiring hairdresser, a great sister, a great daughter, and a great auntie.
This isn't just a trial. You're fighting for Gina. You're fighting for her memory, so that those 12 folks have a solid understanding of who Gina was and the value of her life.
I think some lawyer might say, okay, you know, because Gina is like this, let's go ahead and take $10 million. That's enough. That's big enough. That's the most you're gonna get. They've never told me once that that's too much. They always say, we can fight to the very end.
It was the last day, and it came to like the last couple minutes, but Morgan, they were still negotiating.
The family's reaction when we got this done was, it's hard to describe. I wouldn't say they were jumping with joy, and they were just so glad to have it done.
It was like giving it to them, like, look, yeah, y'all didn't want to give us $10 million, Now you're out $37 million.
Unfortunately, it just fails to capture the true full value of what has been lost.
They're here to just get justice for their lost loved one, and that finally happened.
It was justice, not joy. Gina's life was valued, but her void remained.
To be a voice for Gina, what an honor.
The case part was done, but our relationship stays on.
Over 4 years, they became like a part of our family.
Thank you so much, Evan. Grief is weird. You don't just get over it. I think a lot of times my family and I, we still sit around waiting for her to pull in the driveway, or she's at work, or she's at my mom's house. In the end, we don't have our sister here. We're always gonna still be hurting, but I think there's a sense of peace too now.
Her case and our lawyer was able to make people see that no matter who you are, you have a life. To me, that's justice.
The verdict was clear. Gina's life would be honored, and that was priceless. Juan stepped into court not just for himself, but for the family who felt his pain every day. Yvette found something she thought she'd lost forever, proof that she was never to blame. And the Lo family, they carried Gina's memory into the courtroom so that she could be put to rest with dignity. These are just 3 among millions across America. Ordinary people, blindsided by tragedy, forced into battles they never imagined. But justice doesn't fight for itself. And when the fight was too heavy, Morgan & Morgan carried the weight. For Juan, for Yvette, for the Lo family, for every family who needs justice, for the people.